Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eli, and today we're setting up a Eureka server and client in Spring Boot. If you're working with microservices, Eureka is a must-know. It handles service discovery, so you don't need to hardcode URLs or ports. So let's jump right into it and get started. So let's discuss what is Eureka. Eureka is part of the Spring Cloud Netflix stack. You can think of it like a phone book for your services. It keeps track of where each one is running so that they can talk to each other without hard-coded endpoints. It's great for scaling, improving reliability, and making deployment more flexible. Now that we have a clear understanding of what is Eureka, now we're going to go ahead and develop our Eureka server. So in order to create a Eureka server, we're first going to head to start.spring.io and we're going to set up our project. So for our project, we want Maven for the project management. The language is Java, the version is 17. For our Spring Boot version, we will be using 3.5.4. And for our dependencies, the only dependency we actually need for our server is the Eureka server dependency. So once we have those configured, we will go ahead and generate the project and open up in IntelliJ. So let's get to it. Okay, I already have the URL in my address bar. So let's go ahead and go to web application. So as you can see, we already have project as set up as Maven. The language is Java. Spring Boot version 3.5.4. Okay, so for the metadata, we could say Eureka server. Okay, and we're going to say this is demo for Eureka server. Okay, alright, packaging, we're going to use jar, and yeah, 17 for the version. So now in dependencies, we'll go ahead and find Eureka server. So now that we have it, we'll just generate. Now that the project is generated, we're going to go ahead and take this project and we're going to open up IntelliJ. Okay, now we're just going to go ahead and go to File Explorer. And from here, we go to Downloads and you should see the project right here. So now we're just going to go ahead and extract this folder. Pick your destination, desktop. Okay. Alright. Okay. Now that with our project extracted to the desktop, we can go ahead and close up the File Explorers. Open up IntelliJ. So when we open up IntelliJ, the first thing I like to do is I like to go to the pom.xml file, and I like to just see, like, make sure all my dependencies are defined correctly, you know, everything that I need is there. So, okay, we'll go to desktop, hit Eureka server, we're going to open up it. Okay. Project is loading, everything is loading. Okay. Alright, so let's head to the pom.xml. Okay, let's check out what we have. So you can see this is the parent tag, group ID, artifact ID, name of the project, and description. Alright, so let's see, we have. Alright, so right here, this dependency is our Eureka server. Okay, and here is the Spring Cloud dependency that we need to in order to run our Eureka server as well. So yeah, those are the two dependencies that I was looking for to make sure that we have. So okay, now that that's there, we can move on. So from this point, we can go to source.main Java And inside the main application file, you want to go ahead and just add another annotation. This annotation allows your application to be treated and operate just like a service discovery. So it basically tells Spring, hey, treat this project like a service discovery. So what we want to say is Eureka, enable Eureka server. So now that we have that, we also need to go to our resources, application property, and we need to define a couple properties to make sure our server is defined properly and everything runs smoothly. So the first dependency we're going to add is service port. By default, it's already 8761, but I like to just put it so it's good practice and I have no like second guesses of like what's the port, or if anything changes in the future, I know for a guarantee fact it will be 8761. Alright, so the next properties we're going to add are specifically for running our Eureka service. So we're just going to see properties for Eureka server. Alright, so under here we're going to say Eureka dot client dot register with Eureka, and we're going to set that to false. Oh, typo. Next property is Eureka dot client dot fetch registry, equals to false. And lastly, we have Eureka dot instance dot host name. Name. Set that to localhost. Okay. Alright, so you might be wondering, what does all this mean? Alright, so right here we're basically just saying that Eureka server client register with Eureka, you set that to false because the server does not have to register with itself, if that makes sense, and yet it does not need to fetch itself. So those two properties are set to false so that the server doesn't try to register itself or fetch fetch the registry, or fetch itself. And the instance host name, we set it to localhost because we're going to be working in our local environment, so localhost. And this is pretty much it for setting up. Okay, now that our server is built, we can run it. So I'm going to head over to the main application file. You can hit run at the top of the IDE, or you could select one of these play buttons on the side as well. But for me, I think the simplest way is just to press Shift and F10, and it runs the project. Okay. Alright, so let's see what's going on. Okay. So the server is starting. Everything seems to be going fine. Tomcat initiated with port 8761. Okay, that's good. Alright, so yeah, here you can see right here. Started a Eureka server, Tomcat started on port 8761. So yeah, application is up and running. So now let's go ahead and just head over to our server. So it's localhost 8761. Alright, and as you can see, our Eureka server is up and running. Here's a couple metrics. And as you can see, we currently do not have any clients up and registered to our server. So that's our next step. We're going to go ahead and create our Eureka client. Now, to create our Eureka client, we're first going to go and head to start.spring.io. We're pretty much going to have the same settings as we have for our server, such as Maven, Java 17, Spring Boot 3.5.4, but our dependencies will be completely different. So we will be utilizing Eureka Discovery Client and Spring Web for this. So let's go ahead, head over to start.spring.io. So this is the same tab we use for our client, so let's just change it to make it fit our needs. Client. So we're going to leave Maven, Java 3.5.4, jar, and Java 17. So for the dependencies, we can remove the server and look up Eureka discovery client, and we also need Spring Web. Yeah. So with those two dependencies, we're ready to generate our client. So now that we have our client generated, we can just go to Files, go to Downloads, click Client, extract all. Well, we want to extract it on a desktop. Keep consistency. So extract the desktop. Alright, now that it's on the desktop, we can close this. And we can open up IntelliJ, and right here select the hamburger menu, and we can say open, and desktop, find client, select. We will use a new window to keep it simple, separation of concerns, So alright, now that our new IDE is open, okay. We'll give it a couple seconds to load everything in so we get started. Okay, I think everything is loaded. So, same as the server, we're going to check out our pom.xml just to make sure our dependencies are here. So let's scroll down. Okay, here you go right here. Here we go right here. Here's our Eureka client dependency, our Spring Web dependency, and our Spring Cloud dependency. We need this in order for Eureka server to run properly, since it's part of the Spring Framework Cloud project or package. Alright, so just like before, we're going to head over to our main Java file, and right here we're going to add enable discovery client. So the reason why we need enable discovery client is because it tells Spring Boot that this application will register with a Eureka server. So that's why we need this annotation. So now that we have this annotation, we can go ahead and head over to our application properties file, and we have a few properties to define. It's pretty much the same properties from the server, but just a little different. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go ahead and go to our server, copy the dependencies. Well, we don't need the name. Well, we don't need the port either. Well, I'll just change it. But we're gonna copy this. Okay, head back over, paste. So I want to run this on port 8082, and change this from server to say client. And since this is a client and not a service registry or server, we could just set, well, we have to set this to true so that this client registers with the Eureka server, and it fetches the registry so it can know about other Eureka clients that are also registered to the same exact service registry. We do not need the instance name. Instead of instance name, we do need Eureka client service URL default zone. So this property, all it says is this is where our Eureka server is located. So http /localhost 8761, and we have to add Eureka like this. Alright, now that we have this defined, our Eureka client is now built, and now it's time to run it. So same steps as before. You can run it using any of these run buttons, but for me, we're just going to go ahead and just use the Shift and F10 command. Okay, our application is now running. Let's see what's going on. Okay, as you can see, where is that? Alright. Okay, Tomcat initiated with port 8082. So, let's see. Eureka. Okay, discovery client initiated at timestamp. Alright, so I believe our server is, I believe our client is registered on our server. So we can check that just by heading over to Eureka. Let's just refresh this. Alright, there we go. Here's our Eureka client. As you can see, it's up and running. It's up and running on my desktop. Here is the name and here's the port. The status is up. Yeah, so. And I do want to mention that before you run your client, please make sure that you run your server first. You cannot run your client and then run your server. So server first, client second. Alright, so yeah. You have successfully created a Eureka server and Eureka client in Spring Boot. Now your services can discover each other dynamically without hard-coded URLs. If you found this helpful, please give me a like and subscribe for more Spring Boot tutorials. And let me know in the comment section what would you like to learn next. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.